My goodness, who's it going to be? They want to be on that stage. We'll interview the top three in Lucas Oil Victory Lane. How much more drama could we have? The defending champion on the outside of the front row, the driver who may be running his last ever dirt late model race, Tony Birkhofer.
Everybody's pulling for him. Nobody wants to see him go, but he'd like to go out on a high note if he's going to do it. Brian Birkhofer, ready to go from the pole position. 2 by 2 and nose to tail. Your field working toward turn number 3. Doug Clark, Sioux Falls, South Dakota on the flag stand. Green flag furled in hand as Brian Birkhofer pacing the field toward turn number 4. Looking. Green flag waves here at Knoxville.
Well, the deep breath is over. We're full force now in 01. Birkhofer on the bottom line to get up top. Out in turn 2 down the back straightaway. Birkhofer will have the lead. Landing in second. Pearson runs in third. They try to go 3 wide for fourth.
Dale McDowell on the bottom of Bloomquist and the trio working through turns 3 and 4 as they work off the turn. Brian Birkhofer will come down the front straightaway and he will lead lap number 1. Darrell Lanigan running second. Earl Pearson Jr. running in the third spot, but he's being challenged by Jonathan Davenport. Davenport moves by on the inside to take the third spot back, but here comes EPJ back on the outside of turn number 3.
Good battle there. Pearson looking for his first win here in Knoxville. Davenport won Thursday night. On the bottom, Davenport, Pearson, good battle there. Berkey leads into 1-2 in the books.
Still out front is Birkhofer, but Earl Pearson Jr. hustling the top side of the racetrack in that 4th spot. Dale McDowell now up to 5th. Scott Bloomquist running in the 6th position as they work down the back straight of Brandon Shepard, Kent Robinson, Steve Francis, and Eddie Carrier Jr. rounding out your top 10.
As Berkey goes to the top shelf now, landing at about 2 car lengths back. Davenport, Pearson, McDowell, and Bloomquist. Shepard has run well all weekend. B. Shep trying to get it done here for Rocket Chassis at a 2, but Kim Robinson on the move with the 7R down the back straightaway.
Steve Francis as well as they work to the inside into turn number 3. He'll look to the inside of Brandon Shepard in turns 3 and 4, side by side. That'll be the race for the 7th spot. Off of turn 4, Francis would have a car length advantage by the flag stand. He'll drive deep to the inside of turn 1 and take the spot. Here comes B. Shep back on the outside.
And meanwhile, that points battle back there is O'Neill. Has pulled about 5 cars in front of the 20 of Jimmy Owens at the battle back there, but all eyes up front. Berkey continues to lead.
Brian Birkhofer leading Darrell Lanigan in that 2nd spot. Jonathan Davenport racing 3rd now. He's went to the top side of the racetrack as Dale McDowell running in the 4th position with Earl Pearson Jr. now moving back by on the outside. EPJ now moves up into the 4th spot. McDowell running 5th. Here comes Bloomer. Oh, we got a car over the cushion. B-Shep gathers it back in. We stay green through turns 3 and 4.
6 laps in the books. Brian Birkhofer dropped that Big Hill power plant under the hood earlier in the week. Down the back straightaway. Darrell Lanigan in his Cornet Chevrolet running in 2nd. Jonathan Davenport, the K and Rumley entry into turn number 3. Good battle there now is McDowell on the bottom of Pearson. Out at turn 4. Berkey's led all the way so far.
Well, Lanigan drove deep into the bottom of turn number 3. He tried to make the bottom side of turns 3 and 4 work. He drove through the middle of the racetrack to close the gap, but Birkhofer too strong down the front straightaway. He opened the door once again over Lanigan, who runs 2nd. But look at Lanigan close the gap down to 2 car lengths in turns 3 and 4. Not enough as Birkhofer rides the outside of the racetrack, but Lanigan is closing in on the 15B.
3rd runs Davenport, 4th McDowell, 5th Pearson, 6th Bloomquist, 7th Robinson, 8th is Francis, 9th is Shepard, 10th is Carrier. Brady Smith up to 11th. Brady Smith from 20th to 11 early on. Good run for him.
And he's not done as he works the bottom side of the racetrack. Brady Smith trying to make the move on Eddie Carrier Jr., but right behind him it's Billy Moyer. Billy Moyer finds the middle of turns 3 and 4, slides up across the top, losing a little ground now off of turn number 4 to Shannon Babb, who moves by in the car number 18. Shannon Babb moving by and cracking into the top 12 now as Moyer slips back to 13th.
Heck of a battle there for 3rd spot. McDowell on the bottom. Davenport up against the wall. Meanwhile, Bloomquist to the bottom. Pearson, great race right here for 3rd on back, Tony.
It is great. It's hot right now as they work side by side through turns 1 and 2. McDowell on the bottom, working down the back straightaway. Jonathan Davenport staying up on the top of the racetrack. They'll go door to door as Earl Pearson Jr. losing a little ground in turn 3. Got up over the cushion. Got 2 wheels up in the junk. Let Bloomquist by. Here comes Francis to the inside of Bloomquist.
Francis, the 2 Hall of Famers now. Francis, the winner here a couple of years ago down the back straightaway. Kim Robinson in the hunt. Meanwhile, Birkhofer and Lanigan in traffic up at turn 4 as they head down the main straightaway. 12 scored tonight here in Knoxville, Tony.
Working through traffic is Birkhofer, but if you look back a little ways, Earl Pearson Jr. had trouble again in turn number 3, got up over the cushion by the scoreboard, allowed Francis to get by and closing in back on him in turn number 2 is Earl Pearson Jr. but your leader, Brian Birkhofer, working the high side of the racetrack in turn number 4, working through traffic. So far, James, most of the traffic on the bottom, Birkhofer has not had to leave the cushion.
And now Alba 17 of Dale McDowell and the 6 of Jonathan Davenport. They're closing to turn number 2. Here comes the 2014 Dirt Limited Dream Winner down the back straightaway. He will bring alongside the 6 of Davenport and the zeros. Oh, Pearson Jr. to the backstretch wall. Pearson to the wall. We stay green as he'll lose a couple of spots.
Earl Pearson Jr. has struggled the last 3 or 4 laps, keeping the back end of that car underneath of him as we stay green, as you mentioned. Here comes Bloomquist to the inside of Davenport in turn number 2. That's the race for the 4th spot down the back straightaway. Davenport on the outside. Bloomquist tucking back in as they go toward 3. Bloomquist rockets to the bottom of turn number 3. Looking low on the inside of turn number 4. Good battle for the 4th spot.
Heavy traffic, Jimmy Owens. And right now, smoke out of the 75 of Terry Phillips. Jimmy Owens, the 3-time Lucas Oil champion. Down the back straightaway is going to go a lap down. Owens a lap down, 15 in the books. Lanigan second, third remains McDowell. Bloomquist fourth. Battle for 5th between Davenport and Francis. It's heating up for the lead now as we got about 5 or 6 cars now in the hunt.
Things are about to pick up on the top spot as Brian Birkhofer sees lap cars ahead. He will have to choose where he's going to go because he won't be able to stay on the top of the racetrack. Here they come down the back chute now. Bloomquist up into the 4th spot right behind McDowell. They go nose to tail to the bottom side of turn number 3. Meanwhile, your lead races off of turn 4. Birkhofer comes back. Here comes Lanigan looking to the inside. Your race is for the lead in turn 1 side by side.
Here we go, 81 to go in Knoxville.
Doug Clark waves the green flag. Brian Birkhofer squeezes him off the bottom of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. He goes back to the bottom to protect the inside line as Lanigan goes back to the top of the racetrack in turn number 2. Jonathan Davenport running 3rd. Steve Francis 4th. Battle for the 5th spot now as they work off of turn 2. Down the back straightaway, Ken Robinson and Dale McDowell side by side for the 5th spot as they race for the lead off turn 4.
Down the main straightaway, it's still Berkey. Good battle here, Davenport and McDowell. Davenport will go to 3rd. 4th runs McDowell. 5th is Francis. K-Rob on the bottom there, 3 wide, almost for position. Down the back straightaway. Good race right in there between Bloomquist, Francis, and Robinson.
Bloomquist took advantage of the top side being open in turn number 2 to take the 5th position away as they work off of turn number 4. Here comes Francis back to the inside, but Bloomquist says no, he's too strong. But now they'll race for the lead in turn number 2 again. Lanigan pulled up alongside of Brian Birkhofer down the back straightaway, but Birkhofer drives deep in on the top side of the racetrack. Lanigan down low, still battling for the lead again, side by side off of 4.
They've run 1st and 2nd this entire race. McDowell at 3rd, Davenport 4th, 5th Bloomquist, 6th is Francis, 7th Robinson, 8th Shepard, 9th is now Mars, 10th is Pearson. Jimmy Mars from 18th to 9th, Tony.
He's working up to the outside of Earl Pearson Jr. down the back straightaway. Pearson Jr. falls back in line, but the battle now in the 3rd spot as they work into turn number 4. McDowell on the top side of the racetrack. Jonathan Davenport and Scott Bloomquist battling it out. Bloomquist moving by Davenport into turn 1. Now he'll set his sights on McDowell in turn number 2. Race for 3rd in turn 2. He's got it. No, McDowell back to the outside.
Francis trying to squeeze below Davenport. Not enough room down there. Meanwhile, Mars has a run on the top shelf. Out in turn 4, it's still Birkhofer. Stretches it out with 24 scored in another Knoxville.
McDowell and Bloomquist continue to go back and forth as the yellow lights come on.
And rookie Rodney Sanders into the guardrail in turns 3 and 4 as he hits the wall. Making his first Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals here tonight.
24 laps in the book, 76 to go, off of turn 4. Berkey brings them down to the waving green. We're back underway. Lanigan, McDowell, Bloomquist, and Bishop going to work in turn 2.
Moyer back out on the racetrack, down the back straightaway. Brian Birkhofer, he's led all the way so far. Lanigan dives to the bottom of the turn number 4. Good battle for third. Now Bloomquist works the bottom on McDaddy. Down the main straightaway, it'll be Birkhofer, Lanigan, McDowell, Bloomquist, Shepard, Davenport back into the Jimmy Mars on the move. Mars started to the outside of the 9th row. He's bidding for a top 5 right now down the back straightaway.
He's moving along because he just drove right by Steve Francis, who's been very quick so far in tonight's race. Mars up on the top of the racetrack now, getting around well as they work through turn number 4. He'll move behind Brandon Shepard easily down the front chute and bring Francis with him. Those 3 cars battling now for the 6th spot in turn number 2. Mars held up behind the 6 of Jonathan Davenport as they work down the back chute. Now Francis nearly getting together with Shepard into turn number 3.
Out of turn 4. This track you can run anywhere on it tonight. Typical Knoxville. Low, middle, high is 73 to go in this race. 27 in the books. Birkhofer now stretches the lead out down the next straightaway, Tony.
Well, he's got to be loving the fact that now he's got a clear road ahead to try to put some distance between he and Lanigan after that caution. Bloomquist now starting to close in. He rides in the third spot. Oh, he hooks her up down on the inside of turn number 4. Keeps the car straight, but it nearly jerked the car right up to the outside fence as Bloomquist rides the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. Now 3 car lengths back 4 as it is through turn number 2 from Lanigan.
Bloomquist, the only 2-time winner this race, trying to become a 3-time winner here tonight. To continue his streak, winning the world, 100 at Eldora, the Jackson, 100 at Round City, and down the main straightaway. Birkhofer, 29 scored, rather 29 scored. Tony's, but Shannon Babb is out of the race.
Shannon Babb calls it a night as they work down the back chute, your leader.
Spoke out of the 5, the youngster Brandon Overton, and he's going to get out of the groove. Brandon Overton in trouble down the back straightaway. In that Troy Baird number 5 car, his first trip to Knoxville. He made the show. He's off the pace, trying to get off the racetrack, and the caution is out.
James, these cautions are working right into the hands of Brian Birkhofer as he could start to see the lap cars ahead. And now the caution coming back out with 70 to go. Billy Moyer back into the infield to the work area.
Here comes 0 out of 4. Berkey's led all the way so far, but there's 70 to go in Knoxville. Here they come.
Green flag waves. Lanigan able to get back by Birkhofer, by Bloomquist. Now he'll try to get by Birkhofer. He does. You've got a new leader. Brian Birkhofer down to second, but here comes Bloomquist to the inside. Battle for second down the back straightaway. Lanigan leading now. Bloomquist to the inside. They'll race for the lead in turns 3 and 4. Birkhofer back to third. Here comes the 0.
Bloomquist on the bottom. Lanigan takes the lead. Bloomquist second. Birkhofer third. McDowell fourth. Jimmy Mars up to 5th. Jimmy Mars up to 5th, trying to win this event for the very first time down the next straightaway. Over Dale McDowell.
Brian Birkhofer had pulled back by Bloomquist, but now Bloomquist too fast on the bottom of the racetrack. He'll take that second spot back. Berkey tries the high side. He's got it down the front straightaway. Brian Birkhofer down the runner-up spot, but Bloomquist is not done with him yet. He'll try it back on the inside of turn 2. Side by side down the back straightaway. The battle for the second spot as Lanigan continues to lead on the bottom side of the racetrack. This time by, there'll be 33 laps in the book, 67 to go.
Down the main straightaway, it's still Darrell Lanigan, Brian Birkhofer, Scott Bloomquist. Then it's McDowell, Mars, Davenport, Francis, Brady, Smith, Pearson, Shepard, and Heckenast. Frank Heckenast Jr. coming in with a 99 Jr. But Jimmy Mars trying to get around McDowell down the back straightaway has a run on him.
He's got a run on him as Bloomquist has a run on Birkhofer in turn 4. McDowell moves up in front of Mars to hold him back there in turn number 4 as they work down. Francis getting past as well as they work down the first straightaway by Jonathan Davenport. Jonathan Davenport with a run through turn 2 as Francis goes back by him. Brady Smith now moving up one spot around Earl Pearson Jr. down the back straightaway.
Darrell Lanigan inching away every lap now. Down the main straightaway, 35 in the books. Here tonight in Knoxville, Brian Birkhofer, Scott Bloomquist trying to catch him on a 2. Jimmy Mars now. Could this be the lap? Mars now will work the outside. Here comes Jimmy Mars down the back straightaway. McDowell will shut the door again.
Oh, McDowell moved up the racetrack to try to hold him off. Look at Mars lead on the cushion as all 4 wheels up on the top of the racetrack. Oh, Jimmy Mars gets over the cushion, losing 2 spots down the front straightaway. France is about to take the spot away as well as they work into turn number 1. Mars gathering it back in, goes back to the cushion in turn 2, working on Davenport down the back straightaway. But back up front, it's all Darrell Lanigan right now as they work off of 4. Here comes Bloomquist again to challenge, but not enough on Birkhofer.
37 scored in tonight. It's still landing. And great battle for second this side beside Birkhofer and Bloomquist down the back straightaway. McDowell fourth, Davenport fifth. Sixth is Mars, seventh Francis, eighth Brady Smith, ninth is Pearson, 10th is Shepard, 11th Hepkinest, and in 12th runs Chad Simpson. Chad Simpson coming up in the 25.
What a battle for the second spot as it worked through turns 1 and 2. Back and forth for Birkhofer and Bloomquist and McDowell, Davenport, Mars, Francis, and Brady Smith in the 8th spot. Earl Pearson Jr. 9th. Brandon Shepard and Frank Heckenast now up into the 11th spot as it worked down the back chute. But the action's up front. Your leaders down into turn number 1. Darrell Lanigan on the top of the racetrack now. Bloomquist again trying the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to move by Birkhofer. Birkhofer too tough off the top of turn 2.
Down the back straightaway. Good battle there. Davenport and McDowell. Then here comes Francis back. Francis pulls alongside Mars. He'll make the move. Meanwhile, right there, they're starting to close back in on your leader. Lanigan now will pick up heavy traffic. Bloomquist, will he try to throw the slider? Not this time.
Not this time, but second and third have reeled in your leader now with lap traffic ahead. It's gonna get good, as you said, James. The battle is about to be for the lead as they work into turn 4. Now, here comes Birkhofer back to the inside, racing for the lead. He's got it. Brian Birkhofer changed his line, went to the bottom of turn 4, slide job across turn 2. He'll take the lead in turn 2. Lanigan back to second. Here comes Bloomer in the 3rd spot.
Oh, baby. Here comes Lanigan back on the bottom of the quist there in 3rd. Out in turn 4. And Brian Birkhofer is back out in front of Knoxville.
Boy, he found some speed off the bottom of turn number 4 and rockets past to take the lead. But now Bloomquist trying to move by Lanigan as Lanigan tries to bend off the 0 in turn 2. Down the back straightaway, your top 3 have pulled away. Jonathan Davenport and Dale McDowell battling for the 4th spot down the back chute side by side toward turn 3.
And here comes there's action all over this track. Unbelievable. Here they are. Great battle here between McDowell, Davenport, Mars, and Francis. Meanwhile, your leader to turn number 3. Heavy traffic for Berkey now. And Kim Robinson slows. Kim Robinson in the top 10 going. Looks like he is out of this Knoxville Late Model Nationals.
Jonathan Davenport has cleared McDowell now in turn number 4. McDowell, here he comes again. A big run to the outside. Oh, he squeezes by at the flag stand. Dale McDowell moves by Jonathan Davenport, who goes right through the middle of turn 1. He'll look to the inside of turn number 2. Jimmy Mars looking on. Steve Francis, Brady Smith as they work into turn number 2 and down the back chute. But your leader is working off turn 4. Here comes your leader. Here comes your leader. It's Brian Birkhofer.
And here comes Lanigan on the bottom. Lanigan to pull even in turn number 2 by Morgan Bagley. Out at 2. Birkhofer pulls back out of it. Bloomquist is going to try to get it going again. They'll head around the racetrack. 45 to go. Coming up 55. Hello there. 45 in the books. Lap 46 right here. Here we go.
You got it. You got it as they work into turn number 1. Birkhofer has found that his car is pretty good coming off the top of turn 2 to drive through the middle, but it's even better on the bottom of turns 3 and 4 when it needs to be. But he moves back to the top side of the racetrack where he can carry his speed up on the high side of turn number 4. Lanigan still running in that 2nd spot. Bloomquist running 3rd as they work down the front straightaway. They'll work past more of the lap cars.
Out at turn number 2, you got 3 cars running in front of them. Up here trying to go 3 wide. Birkhofer down. McDowell will lose the spot to Francis and Davenport as they come out of turn 4. Berkey now having problems with the berm. Berkey will drift up the track. Lanigan still 2nd. Bloomquist 3rd. And on the charges, Francis up to 4th, Tony.
Well, that helped Lanigan close back in as Birkhofer struggles a little bit on the top side of turn number 2 this time, and he'll drive back away from Lanigan. Put 3 car lengths to him. Now 4. Here comes Lanigan again, knocking on the door for the lead. Your race is for the lead in turn 4.
Down the straightaway, Birkhofer will pull him about 3 to 4 car lengths into 1. Bloomquist now will have to deal with it. He brings into 1. Down at turn number 2, 49 in the books, and the caution is out. Caution is out, and Dale McDowell's in trouble. Dale McDowell in trouble, and Brady Smith also involved. So Dale McDowell, who is running at 6th, and Brady Smith at 8, as Dale McDowell goes pit side, Tony. We'll go green in and halfway here in the 11th annual Lucas Oil Late Model Knoxville Nationals. Here comes Berkey. Here comes Bloomer. Here comes the Bluegrass Bandit.
down the chute into the turn this time. Birkhofer goes back to the bottom side of the racetrack to hold back, landing it. Now he'll slide up to the middle of the racetrack to get his momentum off of turn 2. Here comes Francis to the outside. Oh, he has to get on the brakes to avoid getting into Bloomquist. James down the back straightaway. That was going to be big.
Francis has got a hot one. Francis up top. Here comes Francis down the straightaway, and Francis will take third. Francis on a mission halfway.
Boy, he easily drove by Bloomquist down the first straightaway, but here comes Jimmy Mars now as Jonathan Davenport has trouble. He's dropping back quickly. Here comes Mars to the outside of Bloomquist in 3.
Oh, they come on the 4 down the straightaway, landing it in the middle groove. Up top, Birkhofer. And Steve Francis may have a problem. Steve Francis may have a problem. It looked like he's got some handling issues. Out in turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Something is going amiss on the 15 car.
Here comes Jimmy Mars. Nothing amiss on the car number 28 as he goes to the top of turn number 3. Bangs that cushion. Now he gets 4 wheels over the cushion in turn 4. Jimmy Mars gets way up in the junk off of turn number 3. Goes through 4, now gathers it back in.
Francis looks like he may have something broke on the front end. He's hanging on right now. Shepard to 5th. Mars on the outside, but Francis, who took off a ball of fire after the restart, is falling back, trying to get it back going again. Not sure what the problem is.
Steve Francis rides in the 4 spot as the battle continues for second. Landing and has the spot. Bloomquist took a look in turn 2. Then it's Francis in the 4 spot. Jimmy Mars now moving by into the 5th position. Brandon Shepard running into 6th spot. Jonathan Davenport running 7th.
Down the main straightaway, Brian Birkhofer. Rocket chassis, big kill power plant under the hood. 46 to go. Bloomquist pressuring Lanigan. 4th runs Francis. 5th Mars. 6th is Shepard. Then about number 7th back here between Marlar and Davenport. And Mikey Marlar on the move. Marlar around Davenport.
Mike Marlar started 23rd on the field here tonight, James. He's marching his way toward the front here in the second half of tonight's race as Scott Bloomquist moves to the 2nd spot in turn number 2. He'll slide up to the middle of the racetrack and hold the spot back. Landing it now goes to the outside of 3. Not near enough. Look at Bloomquist rocket to the bottom of turns 3 and 4 to hold the 2nd spot. Now landing it goes to the bottom in the 3rd spot, but the battle is for 4th. Here comes Jimmy Mars.
Jimmy Mars, he started back on the outside of road 9 in position number 18. He's up to 4th, Shepard 5th. Francis back to 6th. And right now we got a car slowing at turn number 3 on the inside. Looks like Morgan Bagley off the pace. But out at turn number 4, 43 to go for Berkey.
Berkey out front as Jimmy Mars is the show right now. He'll move up into the 4th spot. Down the front straightaway, Brandon Shepard in tow as they go to the top of turn number 1. Steve Francis hanging on behind him. Then you've got Mike Marlar now up into the 7th spot. As we mentioned, he started 23rd on the field here tonight. Now running in the 7th spot, Jonathan Davenport back to 8th. Frank Heckenash Jr. 9th, and Rick Eckert now cracking the top 10 in the Rocket House car.
Good run for Eckert as he's gotten around Pearson. 42 to go. 58 in the books, down the back straightaway to turn number 3. Here goes Bloomquist on the bottom. He'll take a shot. Bloomquist on the bottom of Birkhofer down the main straightaway. Here they are.
Birkhofer is going to have to get off the cushion now if he wants to hold back Bloomquist, because Bloomquist has been very fast off the exit of turn 4. Oh, down the back straightaway, Birkhofer gets a run on him down the back chute to maintain his lead, but here comes Bloomquist looking low, looking again as they get into traffic. Now takes a look at the lead. Here comes Birkhofer. He shuts the door on him off of turn 4.
Down the main straightaway, 40 to go, 60 in the books. Birkhofer on the bottom. Bloomquist is taking around Blankenship. Here comes Lanigan. Jimmy Mars, though, may be the fastest car on the track down the back straightaway. He'll bring Shepard with him into turn 3. Bloomquist tries to get on the bottom, Tony.
I think Bloomquist heard you say it, James, because he stuck the throttle a little deeper that time, trying to make the move back to the lead. Birkhofer fending him off, but not this time. Big slider in turn number 2. You've got a new leader. Scott Bloomquist moves up into the top spot, but here comes Birkhofer back to the outside in turn 3.
They come out of turn number 4. Scott Bloomquist out in front of Knoxville.
Scott Bloomquist leading in traffic now. Brian Birkhofer still right on his heels. Darrell Lanigan running in the 3rd spot as they work into turn number 2. Jimmy Mars.
Got a car, the caution is out.
Rick Eckert slowing down the back straightaway, James.
Rick Eckert running in the top 10. Caution is out with 38 to go.
Wow, that will change the complexion of this race dramatically now, James, as the caution waves for Rick Eckert. Well, Scott Bloomquist fans, where are ya? 8 circuits remain here tonight. Bloomquist dives to the middle of turn 4, down to the inside. Here comes Berkey. Big run. He takes the lead off turn 4.
And the crowd comes to his feet. Let's watch his slider. Oh, it's coming. And he leaves him room down the next straightaway. They're side by side, but Jimmy Mars may have the fastest car on the track. Bloomquist will shoot for the lead. Here they come into turn 4. Down the front straightaway, Jimmy Mars is third, but Bloomquist leads.
Well, Birkhofer tried to snooker him on the start, but it didn't work as he goes back to the second spot. Here comes Jimmy Mars to the outside of Lanigan now. Jimmy Mars moves up to third, Lanigan back to fourth, Francis in the fifth spot. Here comes Mike Marlar now to the inside of Francis. That'll be the battle for the fifth spot in turn number 4 as they work off the turn battle for third, fourth, and fifth.
Whatever it was with Francis, he's better after that restart. He'll close on Lanigan. The two Bluegrass State drivers out in turn number 2. Here comes Francis down the back straightaway, but what about Mikey Marlar? But right now, Bloomquist out in front. What else is new the last 3 out of the last 4 weeks?
Earl Pearson Jr. pulling the 44 car to the infield. Oh, we got a car up over the cushion again. Off of turn number 4. Don O'Neill making his way to the front now as they work into turn number 2. Car slowing in turn number 2.
Brandon Shepard and he'll go up against the guardrail, and the caution will come back out. Brandon Shepard is slowed at turn number 2, and the caution is out. Caution is out. Mars and Birkhofer will line up behind him. Tony, here we go. Does anybody have anything for 0 here later on?
Well, he learned something on the last start, and that was not to leave the top open for Birkhofer. So this time he went off the top at turn number 4 instead of the bottom. Made Birkhofer go back to the top of turn 1. Mars takes a look on the inside. He'll run in the 3rd spot. Here comes Lanigan in the 4th position. Down the back chute, Francis 5th. Battle for 6th now. Marlar being challenged for position, but he'll drive back to the inside as they go for 3rd in turn 4. Battle for 3rd. Here comes Lanigan.
Lanigan back there. He got it. Wow, they didn't touch. I don't believe Mars. And here comes Francis. Here comes Marlar, O'Neill, and Jared Landers in the hunt. Where did Jared Landers come from? Down the back straightaway, the 777. Davenport has dropped back, trying to get it going again. But guess who's in front, and he's pulling away. 0 over the lead.
He is, but Mike Marlar has just moved by Francis for position in turn number 4. Here he comes down the front straightaway. Mike Marlar now up into the 5th spot. He'll try to reel in Jimmy Mars. Mike Marlar, the 157, closing into the 28 in turn number 2. But it's all Bloomquist on the bottom of turns 3 and 4, this time by 31 laps to go.
How about it, Tony? Landers pitted back on lap number 24, and he's going to make a move to the inside. He'll go to 7th. Landers up to 7th. As they go to turn number 1, 31 to go. He may not be done. Guardrail.
Just about did it. Got up into the fence like we spoke about earlier. He lost 4 spots, 5 spots down the back straightaway. He was battling hard with Don O'Neill until he got up over the cushion in turns 1 and 2. Back up front, it's Bloomquist, Birkhofer, Lanigan, Mars. Then Mike Marlar, Francis O'Neill, Heckenass, Davenport, and Landers continues to drop back to the 12th position.
Scott Bloomquist out at turn number 4, 29 to go. Birkhofer 2nd. And a good battle there, Lanigan and Mars going back and forth, 29 and 28. 5th runs Marlar, 6th is Francis, 7th O'Neill, 8th Heckenass, 9th is Davenport. Happy jumped to 10th. How about that?
He's moving up nicely in this feature here in the late parts of the race. This time by, we're inside of 30 laps to go. Bloomquist out front all alone. No factor up front. The battle right now, the first one on the track's in the 4th spot. Mike Marlar was taking a look to the inside of Jimmy Mars, but now they'll go single file down the first straightaway. Here comes Francis now to challenge Marlar in turn 2. Marlar strong up on the top of the racetrack. Francis slides up across the top. He'll meet the cushion in turn 2 and down the back chute. But now, Marlar to the inside of Jimmy Mars in turn 4. He's got his slide job up to the cushion in turn 4.
Mars, I think he had hit the binders on that one, and there's going to reckon Marlar on the inside of Lanigan. Marlar now, he's got it going. Mikey Marlar on the bottom out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Mars will battle back. Great race right there. 1st and 2nd are solid. 26 to go, but what a battle for 3rd on back.
What a battle it is as they work through the top side of turn 3 and 4. Marlar tries to turn his car off the top of the racetrack, thinks better of it. He'll go back to the cushion now. He'll go to the top and commit to try to run down Darrell Lanigan. Here comes Francis back on the inside. Marlar bobbles in turn 2. That allows Jimmy Mars to close back in. 3 cars battling now the 4th spot into turn 3. Marlar on the top. Francis down low.
25 25 to go, Tony. It's Bloomquist, Birkhofer. An incredible race for third on back. Lanigan, Marler, Francis, Mars, and O'Neill all in the hunt right there. Marler throws the slider in two.
He got it too, nice and easy. Made Lanigan get on the brakes in turn two. Now Lanigan ducks back to the inside. They'll go door to door into turn number three. Lanigan by a nose cone down to the inside. He'll slide up across turn four, put the slider back on Marler in turn four to take the spot back. But here comes Francis on the inside and Jimmy Mars. But they nearly push each other into turn one. Lanigan with the advantage over Marler.
That is a heck of a battle right there. Lanigan hanging on down the back straightaway. Marler's going to get another run on it. Francis and Mars go side by side. Then you have O'Neill, Heckenest, and Davenport. Meanwhile, Bloomquist in heavy traffic into one. Can Berkey catch him with 23 to go?
He's still got time, and now he goes back to the bottom of turns one and two to try it up, mix it up a little bit, try to run down Scott Bloomquist. Bloomquist has battled 2 laps now, trying to get by the lap car of Eddie Carrier Jr., but he cannot get by the 28 as they work off of turn 4. This time they'll try to make work again. Carrier squeezes him up to the fence, makes him go to the middle of the racetrack in turn 1. That will allow Birkhofer to close in within 5 car lengths down in turn 2.
22 to go, still a dynamite race there for third. Darrell Lanigan, Mike Marler, Jimmy Mars, Steve Francis, Donald Hill. Up front, can Berkey catch him? Berkey bumping the cushion up before. 21 to go to get it done. Can he catch him? He is. Into one. Here comes Berkey's back in it.
Doug Clark waves the move over flag to the lap cars to let them know here come the leaders, because now your race is for the lead. And back in the third spot, Marler holding off Lanigan, who challenged for the position here. James late in the race. It's getting good here in the closing lap. 20 to go.
Here comes 15B. He's cut it down now. He'll dive into one. Bloomquist on the bottom. Berkey behind him. Third spot is Marler. Marler may have the fastest car on the track. O'Neill and his teammate Francis go side by side. We got Landers slowing into 3. But we stay green.
That'll force the leaders to the bottom of 3 and 4. Landers on the top. Here comes Berkey. Now he'll slide back to the cushion. Tries to get a run on Bloomquist. Not enough. Bloomquist still leading down into turn 1. He'll duck to the inside. Bloomquist down to the bottom. Here comes Birkhofer. He'll follow him in low.
Birkhofer, they're both driving the wheels off the car. That'll cost Berkey a little bit as he drifted up the track. 19 to go. Brian will try to get on the bottom. Meanwhile, Mike Marler trying to get it going. Looking like Mark Martin as they come down the straightaway. Marler on a roll. Here comes 157.
He'll get by Eddie Carrier Jr. down the front straightaway. Landers slams up over the cushion again. He keeps banging that cushion, nearly turns the car into the high fence. Marler will have to delegate with the lap car. Landers as they go toward turn 3. Your leader still Bloomquist, and now Brian Birkhofer showing a little sign of hispa smoke off the back of that car as it came off of 4.
Into turn number 1. 17 to go in Knoxville. Scott Bloomquist, Brian Birkhofer down the back straightaway. Mike Marler's got the fastest car on the track the last lap. 17 to go. Here comes Marler. Can he catch 0 at 15B? Birkhofer tries the bottom. Out of 4. He's still there. It's a good one. 16 to go.
This one ain't over yet. This time by their 16 laps remain. Birkhofer trying to reel in Bloomquist, who moves up the racetrack to protect the middle of turn number 2. Mike Marler has her whistling down the back straightaway in that third spot as they work toward turn 3. Dale Lanigan and Jimmy Mars still your top 5.
Mike Marler right down the road trying to stay on that cushion. Here he comes. He's got a car in front of him. Runs up on the 20 Universe. That'll cost him momentarily. He'll have to get around her quickly. He may have a shot at the win. Marler trying to keep it on the guardrail at 2. Down the back straightaway. Needs to make quick work of her. Tony, he can't be messing with him too much longer.
The leaders have struggled all evening long with lap cars here tonight. Now he finally gets by him in turn 4 and can see Brian Birkhofer straight ahead as they work toward turn 2. But no one able to reel in. Oh, caution! Caution on the racetrack in turn 4.
Darrell Lanigan brings out the caution, running 6th. Oh my.
Heartbreak for Darrell Lanigan, was running in the 6th spot, James. I didn't see what happened there as he comes to a stop on the top of turn 4.
Here comes Birkhofer Marler. Here they come out of 4. We're back underway in Knoxville. 14 to go.
14 to go as they work off the turn 3 wide down the front straightaway. Birkhofer goes to the middle as Bloomquist goes to the bottom. Marler back to the cushion where he's been so far tonight. Here comes Jimmy Mars up into the 4th spot now. Here they go down the back straightaway. Battle Don O'Neill looking on the outside. He nearly gets together with Frank Heckenest Jr. going into turn 3.
Bloomquist up against the cushion now. Down the main straightaway. 13 to go. Berkey and Marler. They got to get their momentum built back up. Probably may not have any more traffic to deal with the rest of the night with 13 to go down the back straightaway. Here comes Marler on Birkhofer.
Bloomquist is so fast on the restart. He puts a lot of distance between first and second, nearly a second and a half as they work off of turn 4. Here they come, battle for second. Marler to the inside of Birkhofer into turn 1. Door to the bottom of the racetrack. Brian Birkhofer trying to hold off Marler, who squeezes him up the racetrack. He'll ride right off the cushion in turn 2, James.
12 to go. Marler's got to regroup. Berkey, they got to get it going. Zero's trying to get away. 11 to go in Knoxville. 11 to go. We get 10 or less to go. It'll be a single file restart. Can they really, man?
Open the marker and get ready to ride an S on the check as Scott Bloomquist races down the back straightaway. Brian Birkhofer running in the second spot. Mike Marler still running third. Jimmy Mars up into the fourth spot as they work through turns 3 and 4. Bloomquist pulling away from Brian Birkhofer, who rides second.
Out at turn number 2. 10 to go. It's still not over yet. Down the back straightaway. Bloomquist, O'Neill, and then you have Francis Owens back in the hunt down the back straightaway. Now as they come into turn number 4. Scott Bloomquist, 9 to go in Knoxville.
Nice and easy off of turn 4. Bloomquist trying to pull away from Brian Birkhofer. 1.6 seconds the advantage for Bloomquist. Here comes Marler trying the top side again. He bucked the cushion over in turn 2 just a little bit. Lost some momentum as they work down the back straightaway. Jimmy Mars and Don O'Neill, your top 5. Here comes Francis again trying to take a look at the top 5 in turn 4.
Down the main straightaway, Bloomquist. 8 to go now. Birkhofer, Marler's got to get it going again. Mikey Marler now, good out of 2 down the back straightaway. Can they catch him? Looks like they're not going to have any traffic to deal with, so they're going to have to do it on their own as they come into turn number 4.
Time is running out for those 2 cars, running second and third, as Bloomquist has got a fair distance over the first and second place cars, or the second and third place cars, as he races into turn 2. Jimmy Mars still running in the 4th spot. Don O'Neill rounding out your top 5. Francis battling Jimmy Owens down the back straightaway. Here comes Jonathan Davenport again to challenge Owens. Owens now up into the 7th position. Heckenash Jr. now on the inside as well, battling off of turn 4.
Out at 2 down the back straightaway. Owens got his lap back because of the lucky dog with Lucas Oil Series. 6 to go, 5 to go, coming up now behind the 777 Landers as Bloomquist now will have to go to the top shelf. Berkey has got to get it going. Berkey trying to really menace. He is pulled away from Marler. You know Berkey's going to give it all he has. 5 to go.
5 laps to go. He's trying to close the gap, and he has done that nearly 1 second back. He was a second and a half 2 laps ago. He'll try it again. The lap cars, he delegates by him in turn number 3, trying to close in on Bloomquist. Mike Marler still running third. Jimmy Mars running in the 4th spot. Then Don O'Neill, Francis, then Jimmy Owens in the 7th position. Davenport racing 8th, Frank Heckenash 9th, and Chase Youngin still running out your top 10. This time by James, it will be 3 laps to go as your leader works off of 4.
Brian Birkhofer, you know he's got it on the floor, that Vic Hill rocket. Here he comes. He's closing on him. 3 to go. Out in turn number 2, Berkey almost got on the wall. He's going to go now. Here he comes. Here comes Birkhofer. He's closing. The crowd will come to his feet. 3 to go. Are you serious? What a storybook finish we may have. 2 to go, Tony.
He's got a run on him down the first straightaway. Here comes Birkhofer again. Back to the bottom of turn 1. 2 car lengths back from Scott Bloomquist. Bloomquist trying to hug the bottom of turn number 2. Birkhofer trying to close him down the back straightaway. Bloomquist pulls away just a little bit. Time is running out. This time by, there'll be the white flag. Bloomquist will see the white flag, but Brian Birkhofer's got to go right now if he wants to do it. White flag's out. 1 to go. 1 lap to go. Scott Bloomquist looking to be the first driver to win this race 3 times, leading through turn 2. Brian Birkhofer on the top. He's got to run down the back straightaway. Here comes Berkey. Berkey on the top of the racetrack. Will he have enough time? He's closing in. He's taking a look. Your race is for the lead. Off of turn 4. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Brian Birkhofer wins at Knoxville. I'm telling you, race fans, they don't make it any better than this. As Brian Birkhofer has talked all week long. He had a 3rd place run on the first night. He went to victory lane last night and has talked all weekend about this may be his last weekend. And coming off of turn 4, put the throttle through the floorboard to pick up the win. race fans, I don't even know what else to say, but the boy from Iowa put it on him here tonight.
Hashtag unbelievable, Tony. That was unreal. I'm still shaking a little bit here. That was incredible. What a way to end the season at Knoxville this year.
Unbelievable. Birkhofer said he was going to put his foot in his ass,